everybody, John Osborne here. You can follow me on StockTwits and Twitter under the name TraderJohnO. Let's do the educational outlook for April 25th, 2017. We'll start out by looking at the Euro Pound. The Euro Pound's made a move back up. You can see the gap up after the French election over the weekend. It continues to rise, and you can see we're approaching this resistance point here that's coming up by moving these two lines here, and watch for that break. We're getting there pretty close right now. It's about 0.85454, so let's see what happens when we get there. You'll notice also that we are approaching the bottom of that old pennant that we broke through on the same news, so let's see what happens with that market. The Euro Yen's also made a move up following the gap and a follow-up. You can see we're also approaching this previous line that we have here, so watch for that one to rise up higher and watch what happens when it gets to that line. In the pound yen, you can see that we're approaching this previous pivot here at 142.800, so keep an eye out for that break point for a potential slowdown reversal or a breakthrough that moves us higher. And we can also watch the trend line on the weekly, which we just broke through. Keep an eye on that one as we broke above there. So that high on the weekly would bring us up to way up around 148.447, and it's still a ways to go. For the pound dollar or US dollar, we've got this little bit of a compression that we touched a few times here. It's tempting to draw a trend line across the tops of these, but we also have this previous pivot that we're going to watch here, and we have the one that was forming this trend line that came down through here, so we'll be watching that. It's not quite as strong as some of the other ones, but 1.28464 would be that break point to go higher, and it's looking relatively bullish across the board. For the dollar loonie, we moved up pretty high above this broken resistance here just today at 1.35839, and we're pulled back almost all the way back to it again. So let's watch what happens here. You can see that same break point here on the weekly, so if we can break through there, watch for us to go quite a bit higher for an extended period of time. But let's see what happens when it comes back and retests that broken support from earlier today. And finally, with the Aussie Swissy, you can see we've got a couple of touches and then almost broke through it here at 0.74698. So I'll be watching that one for a short entry. And while most of these markets are heading up, this one seems to be one of the ones that are heading down. So it's all relative to the different markets that are involved here. But watch for that as a potential break point. It seems like it's pulled back a little bit more than I'd like to see so far today, but that's not surprising after some of the moves down and the big moves we've seen in the market over the past day and a half or so. Okay, and that'll do it for today, and we'll catch up with you next time.